Hey, Gems. Welcome back to the A Gem Forever podcast. I'm your host, Andrea, and I'm excited to finally be back for season two. This season, we are going to be exploring faith, lifestyle, business, and so much more through some amazing gem dropping conversations. The first topic that we'll be exploring this season is goal setting and accountability. I purposefully wanted to have a conversation around this topic because it's the beginning of a new year, 2021, and I believe it's extremely important for us to go into the new year with solid goals and not resolutions. There is a difference, and we'll talk about that a little more later. To help us dive deeper into it, I have here with me a very special guest. When I began planning for this episode, she was the first person who came to my mind. She is the person who really introduced me to goal setting and planning and being intentional about it. So I would like to welcome my sister, my friend, my accountability partner, Miss Chevelle McConnor. Hey, Mama.
Hi, AP. How are you?
I am good, Mama. How are you?
I am blessed. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for agreeing to come on. I'm so glad you could join us today. I can't wait to dive into this conversation. But before we do, just go ahead and take some time and introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit about who you are.
Well, my name is Chevelle. I am from this area. I met you in church. I'm a God fearing woman. I am a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend. Um, I like to say that I have been in hospitality for quite some time now. I'm a very extroverted person. I've done everything from event planning to bartending. I love engaging with people. That's pretty much sums me up.
I love the fact that you introduced yourself first, like not the resume version of who Chevelle is, but just who you are at your core and who you are as a person, so people could really get to know you for the beautiful person and spirit that you are. I love you so much.
I love you.
All right, Mama. So you ready to dive into this conversation?
Let's do it.
All right, AV, let's do it. All right, so I really wanted to make sure that people are setting tangible and realistic goals for themselves this year. When I think about realistic goals, I'm reminded that they represent something that you are willing and able to achieve, whereas a resolution is just a decision to do or not to do something. And so I believe that goals are so important because it helps you establish a plan to achieve your dream or a vision that you have set forth. And it's a lot harder to give up on something when you have a plan. And for as long as I've known you, setting goals has always been important to you. When we were in QE, I always remember you with your planner, you were journaling, you would give me these beautiful journals and planners for gifts, and I still have them and cherish them to this day. And you're the reason why it really became important to me. So, why is goal setting a priority for you?
First and foremost, thank you for thinking so highly of me in that aspect.
You know, I love you,
Um,
girl.
I would definitely say goal setting is important to me because setting goals is so easy. Like not setting goals, should I say, is so easy not to do. Um, you know, Life catches up and sometimes it's just all about surviving, right? So when we're in those predicaments where we're just going day to day, it's so easy to get caught up in the cycle of just trying to survive and just paying your bills and just, doing the everyday thing. So I would say goal setting is really important to me because it's way too easy not to set goals and just become your day to day and just holding yourself accountable. Setting goals is very important because you need to know what you want your near future and what 5 years looks like outside of right now. Things change, circumstances change, but I think to kind of have some type of vision of what you want your future to look like is very, very important.
That's good, AP. I like when you said that setting goals helps you to focus outside of what's going on right now. So it takes your focus off your current situation, even though it may not be ideal, you may not like the way it looks. You setting your goals and planning for your future helps you to just outline what, even though maybe my life doesn't look the way I want it to right now, but 5 years down the line, I can get to where I want it to be by planning goals and establishing stuff and making this a priority. So that's good. Thank you, girl.
Very tangible things, I would say. It's
Exactly.
very easy to kind of look at what everybody else is doing, and you kind of put yourself in that place like, oh, I should be doing that as well. But focus on what works for you and what your goals are for yourself. Because everybody not on the same trajectory as you. Everybody's not doing what you're doing. Everybody isn't called to do what you're supposed to be doing in that season of your life. So focus on what's working for you right now and what you need to do in order to get to the next level. And it may be something small. You know what I mean? A goal may be waking up every day at 7 a.m. when you're used to sleeping at 9. If you can get that done, then maybe in that 2 hour frame, you can get a lot more accomplished. But that's yours, you know? So
That's AP, that's good. I like when you just said making it tangible for you and realistic for you. I think so often we get caught up on looking at other people and the goals that they have set and not focusing on what's pertinent to our lives and what matters to us. And so making sure that we set realistic goals for our lives with resources that are within our means and materials that are within our means are extremely important, and not focusing on what other people are doing. So thank you for that. Look at you, girl, dropping James already. We only on the second question. So my next question is, how do you go about setting goals, and what determines what becomes a goal for you? So kind of a two-part question.
so I go about setting goals as I just stated. Just focusing on what I want the near future to look like, because it's steps, right? You never just wake up one day, oh, I want to be a millionaire. You're going to have to take 20 to 50 steps before getting to that point, you know? So I would say definitely just figuring out what I want the near future to look like. And when you kind of reached out to me and, initially when you told me about this, I was like, I can't believe you chose me, because sometimes I feel like I'm just kind of all over the place. But recently I set some goals for myself and my son. I am a new mom. 2 years is still new. He'll be 3 in May. Benjamin Carter. But I set some goals for him because my son was diagnosed with autism in July. So that was a really hard pill to swallow. I was really conflicted to even talk about it, but it is something that I see manifesting right in front of me right now. I set some goals to make sure that he got everything that he needed to kind of get to the next step of, him going into preschool and him going into daycare and so on and so forth. So everything is happening right now that I prayed about and that I wanted to happen, but I had to really put forth the effort and really set time aside and really make sure that I was taking him to all of these assessments and evaluations in order to make sure that my son was set up for success. So as me and you have talked about before, in the moment, it didn't seem like it was that big of a deal, but I'm setting my son up for success. So that was one of my goals, and it's happening. And I'm really grateful for that, because it was a push for me. It was kind of something that I really had to push myself through, and it's happening. So I would say definitely setting goals for me, and how I go about setting goals would definitely be to just look at what I want in the near future, because it's always going to be some adjustments that have to happen. It's always going to be something that steps in front of you. It's never going to be seamless, right? So setting up, just getting to that place of being put in a position to get what you want, and then just going from there.
That's so good, AP. One, thank you so much for sharing that, because you didn't have to. And so I appreciate you for that. Number two, I like the fact that in your goal setting, you weren't just thinking about yourself, you're thinking about your son. And I think that's so important for people too, especially for people who have children, and then people who maybe have spouses or are in relationships or are in connection with someone else in a way in which that person depends on you. It's really important to, when you're setting goals, to not only think about you, but to think about the people you're connected to, and how you setting goals impacts them and sets them up for success in the future. So you making sure that you set these goals to make sure that your son is okay, is setting Benji up for success in the future. So when he gets ready to go to preschool and pre-K and kindergarten, he has all of those skills that he needs to be successful and to thrive, because you took the initiative to plan ahead. So that's so amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely, but it's also about finding that balance too.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been so in tune with making sure that he's set up for success that I'm not necessarily doing. I'm not going to say not necessarily doing everything that I could be, but for me as a mother, if I wasn't taking the steps and putting in the initiatives to make sure that my son is okay and that he will be okay, anything else that I'm doing will probably fail.
Mm-hmm.
because my mind would be running crazy about, me not following through with this particular goal that I set. So it's a balance thing. And again, I think it's very, necessary for everybody to be transparent that sometimes we may fall short or, we
Mm-hmm.
may kind of, not see things through all the time. But it's one step at a time, one goal at a time, and don't try to put too much on your plate. Because as I said, I'm focused on that, and then I feel like I'm kind of losing my way in some areas. But I know for a fact I can't do anything if I feel like my baby's not set up for success.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to step into a new area and I'm worried about everything that's possibly going on over here. So now that that's done, now I can set some more goals for myself.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Now that you have him squared away, you can start to focus some more on who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or not on who you are. Focus some more. I'm sorry. Focus some more on the goals that you want to set for 2021 because you made sure that Benji is good. That's good. And I'm pretty sure a lot of moms feel that way. Like I have to make sure, my child is straight, my child is good, and then I can focus back, focus back on me. And that assurance that your child is good makes it a lot easier to set goals for yourself because you don't have to worry about him. And so now, because I know he's taken care of, I can focus on Chevelle and do what Chevelle needs to do to be a better person, to be a better sister, daughter, friend, mom, all those wonderful good things.
Absolutely.
Love it, AC. So my next question for you is how do you ensure that you reach the goals that you set?
Accountability,
Mm-hmm.
discipline, and being adamant about speaking to myself in a positive way. Because
Good.
as we stated, it's always something, right? It doesn't matter if it's family, friends, work, your car broke down, you got a flat tire. It's
Mm-hmm.
always something that's going to throw a wrench in your plans. So I would definitely say accountability, making sure that you have the right people around you. And me and you, like as you stated in the beginning, as we both stated, we know each other from church. We did an 18-month program together, and it just worked for us. We seamlessly came together, and it was like we just were able to communicate about things that we wanted to reach and things that we wanted to do, things that we didn't necessarily want to talk about or we
Mm-hmm.
were embarrassed about or whatever that looks like. But I would definitely say accountability, just knowing that you want more for yourself and knowing what isn't serving you. And when you know what doesn't serve you, it's kind of hard to, kind of reach certain peaks of where you want to be when you know certain things are hindering you and holding you back.
Exactly.
So, discipline, I would definitely say, just kind of having that consistency there, being able to do the things that you don't want to do. And it's hard because we all fall short, right? Nobody's dotting every I and crossing every T. It's hard, but definitely discipline and accountability, I would say, and consistency.
Honey, discipline, accountability, and consistency, I feel like are three words people don't like. Because the average person doesn't like to be disciplined. It can be really, really hard, especially in the midst of a pandemic, to be consistent. And a lot of people just don't like accountability because when they think of it, they think, oh, this person's about to be in my business. And that's not what accountability is. I know when we even though we were paired up as accountability partners through church, I think it was so easy and seamless for us because we knew we needed it and we knew we needed each other. And because of that, and we were on the same page in regards to that. And so because of that, there was no issue when you had to check me, and there was no issue, when I had to check you. And you were like, "Nah, sis, you slipping,"
We were
and
honest about it, and we had to be
mhm,
transparent and honest, and that's a big thing. You have to be honest about what you want. What's the end goal, right? You have to be honest about what you want things to look like for you, because
mhm,
you can make up all different types of excuses about why things should be a certain type of way or why they shouldn't be a certain type of way. But when you know what you want it to look like and you know what's serving you or not serving you, it's kind of hard to play with fire when you know it's just not working for you.
mhm. That's good. That's good. And that's good, AP. That was good to me, girl. And also for thinking about setting goals so often. I feel like we put ourselves in positions where we get so amped up and we have these goals we want to achieve, and it sounds so good in the beginning, and oftentimes as we go down the road we kind of sometimes we start to lag behind on the goal, or we start to just kind of begin to toss it to the wayside. And it's easier to do that when it's just you by yourself trying to focus on it, like, oh, this isn't working, I can let it go. But when you have somebody who you have let them know, okay, this is the goal that I'm working on for this year, I need you to hold me accountable to make sure I get this done. And so that person is checking in on you, making sure you're doing what you're supposed to do, amping you up when you don't have the energy to go forward and do it yourself, like making sure that you're following through with what you said you were going to do in your plan to make your goal happen. It makes achieving your goal a lot easier and a lot more attainable. I mean, it may not be easy, but it's easier because you have somebody there kind of helping you along the way, pushing you to
Absolutely.
make sure, being like, hey, sis, or hey, bro, I got you. Like, I'm going to make sure you do what it is that you said you were going to do, and I'm not going to let you drop this because I know you said it's important to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And just to touch on that, and I don't want to be I just kind of want to play, these advocate with that, because
Mm-hmm.
it's very important to know who should hold you accountable. I don't want to just get on here and be like, oh yeah, find you an accountability partner. And again, me and you have had so many in-depth conversations about this whole spectrum of things. And
Mm-hmm.
you got to know who your people are. You know what I mean? You got to know who plays what role in your life. Again, we were paired together and it worked seamless. I can't recall any time me and you have ever had a disagreement. One, because we respect and love each other,
Mm-hmm.
and two, because we're like, this is what we signed up for. You know what I mean? It may be ugly. We're gonna cry. We're gonna laugh. I'm gonna pat you on your hand and be like, girl, you know you wrong. You gonna hit me in the back
Mm-hmm.
of my head and be like, no, you know better. But that's a part of it, and it's just kind of like knowing who your people are and knowing exactly who to go,
Mm-hmm.
who you can go to and with what you can go to it. You know what I mean? Don't just give your pearls out to everybody.
Girl,
So
you segued literally right into the next question, which was, what's an accountability partner? How do you choose it, and why are they beneficial? And piggybacking off of what you just said, I'm glad that you brought that up and pinpointed it out. Everybody can't be an accountability partner for you, because you could be really, really good, or either be really good friends or be really, really close with somebody, and you assume, okay, this person is going to be able to hold me accountable in this area, but you don't know how that person may view you in regard to that area. You don't know if any jealousy may be involved, or could seep in. You don't know if that person is really terrible in that thing that you want them to hold you accountable for themselves. So I can't hold you accountable with finances if my finances suck too. And so making sure you pray about it first, absolutely,
absolutely.
and pick the right person who can hold you accountable for what you need them to hold you accountable for. And accountability partners aren't a one size fits all thing. You may need a different accountability partner for different areas in your life.
And that's
Um,
fine.
and that's fine. I know we can talk to each other about literally anything. There's no judgment about any. We can have the conversations about God. We can talk about, the wind. We can talk about anything.
Everything.
And there literally is no judgment. And then there could be another friend of mine who I know in regards to me. I'll just use saving money as an example. If I know, like, I want to save money and this person is really, really good with finances, I know this person will be a better accountability partner for me in regards to finances than they would be for holding me accountable overall for things in life. Or say, for example, I know that I have set a goal to lose weight, and I know that this person is really, really big on fitness. And so, okay, they can be my accountability partner to make sure that I meet my weight loss goals
Yeah, don't
for
don't hold me
for
back
the year.
because I'm going out to eat, girl.
So it's like knowing there's not a one size fits all approach, and finding that person who works best for you for what you need them for.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good, AP. Was good. That
Yeah,
was
it's
good
a,
to
it's a
me.
real thing. It's a definitely a real thing, because you can have your best friend. You guys have been friends for years, but it's just certain areas that y'all not on the same page with, and there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing wrong with that. It's just, again, do not give your pearls to everybody, because they will trample all over them, and then you will be left crushed.
Mm-hmm.
And we did it through church, but there are, you have those situations where you meet people at church, and we're all healing, we're all broken,
Mm-hmm.
we're all trying to find the pieces to get things together. So pray about it. Like, it's not, as you said, a one size fits all. No, you need to pray about it, and you need to know who your people are and who you are around and what you're discussing with people.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, you absolutely do. I know for me, I have more than one person that I have hold me accountable for different areas, in my life because I need it. And it's just where it works for me, and I do the same thing for other people, whether or not they're like, hey, Andrea, I need you to help me with this and make sure that I'm doing this, and I can say, okay, I got you, or if they ask, I may be like, you know what, I'm not too strong in that area right now either.
Right. I'm struggling too. And
I'm struggling, so
transparency. Nobody
yeah.
figured out.
Mm-hmm.
We are all broken crayons, okay? But we still
Exactly, but we still color. Yes, but we still absolutely color. And it's up to you to determine, like, if somebody asks you to hold them accountable for something, if you're like, I'm not too sure about that because it's a struggle for me too. You can gladly be like, no, not at this time. I can't do it. Or
right.
you could flip the script and be like, hey, I'm struggling in this area too, but maybe we can work together to hold each
Absolutely.
other accountable
I recall
and
us
see
doing
how that
that.
goes.
I recall us doing that. We both
Mhm.
feeling, weak in certain areas, and we're just like, okay, we're gonna delete Facebook. We're gonna
Mhm.
delete Instagram. We're gonna do our Bible studies.
Mhm.
Have our Bible plans. You know what I mean? Like, we have always tried to like stay in the same realms of everything, and it's like, life is going on, but
Mhm.
we've always made sure that in some way, shape, or form we're connected, and we don't have to talk every day. But when we get them alerts from them Bible plans,
Mhm.
you know what it is, and we'll have our small little conversation or discussion at the end of our Bible plan, and we'll hit done, and we'll do
Mhm.
the next day.
Exactly. And I know, like, we literally are both just phone calls, text messages away. I know if I'm going through it, I can hit my APM like, listen, I need a thought partner or just somebody to talk to and vocalize. And the exact same thing for me. Like, just, hey, this summer we were out early in the morning at the park, just literally walking and just talking, sharing experiences because
And
we
praying,
need and
okay?
praying because
That
we
part.
needed,
Real
yeah, and
talk.
because we
Real
need,
faith.
exactly, we were praying because we needed it. We needed it. And that's what having an accountability partner is all about. Just making sure, not only that you're holding the person accountable, but that you're present.
Covering.
Yeah, you're covering them and that you're present. Like, people really need you to be present because we can't do this life alone. I think oftentimes we think that we can, but God calls us to be in relationship. As humans, we need it. We thrive off of working with and interacting with other people. So
And
we
that's
have
the
to
big
we
thing.
have to
That's the big
engage. Yeah.
We're in a society now where everybody's just like, you're
Selfish.
canceled, you're this, you're that. That's not how things work.
Mhm.
Like, we don't, none of us have the authority to say, you can, listen, I can love you and we can, be worlds apart, and that's fine. What
Mhm.
you're doing doesn't work for me and vice versa. That's cool.
Mhm.
But none of us are in a position to throw stones at anybody. None
Exactly.
of us have it figured out. We're all broken. We all have trauma. And we all have things in our upbringing that have
Mhm.
crushed us in some type of way. So we're all trying to figure it out. So, you know, we just need to work with each other and we need to figure out what works for us. And it's okay. Everybody ain't for everybody. We
Mhm.
know that. That's
Yes.
cool. I love you. I got nothing but love for you, but I'm going to love you from over here.
Mhm.
I ain't going to follow you on social media, but if I see you, it's all love.
Mhm.
But this whole like just not caring, not being in a relationship with people, just like genuinely not caring about what's going on with your neighbor, I think it's foolish. Like, that's just not the way life should be.
It's
We live in a
absolutely foolish.
crazy, crazy time right now where people are just like, we are called to be in a relationship. We are called to care about people. We are called to love our neighbors. And that doesn't mean, being in relationship with them.
Mhm.
That just means making sure people are okay and not being
So they're
hateful or
good.
spiteful towards them.
Mhm. And I think we, I don't want to say we to generalize, but I think a lot of people have taken the movement of like kind of like self-care and like turned it into this entire, some people are turning into this selfishness movement, and I don't think they know that that's what they're doing. Because I think a lot of people are thinking, okay, self-care, I'm just focusing on myself and I'm not worried about anybody else. And that's not what it is. Self-care
No,
is literally, I'm taking time out for myself. I'm going to do this strategy for myself to make sure my mental health is good. But that doesn't mean I neglect everybody else. And I
right.
think people are getting the lines with that confused, and they're becoming very, very selfish people and not caring about other people. And that's not what God has called us to do. And B, as a human being, like, how can you really operate like that? You can't operate in the world alone. Like, you're gonna, and whether you want to or not, you're going to interact with people, run into people, meet people on a, if you leave in a house on a daily, even if you go to the grocery store on a consistent basis, you're going to interact with somebody. And so you're going to need to know how to handle that and understand the importance of it and the weight of it. And that, God didn't call you to do this life alone. And oftentimes, like, the answer to your prayer could rest on you being being somebody else's help. And I
Listen,
think people forget that too. Like, you could be that person's blessing. That person can be your blessing too, because you never know how God has connected you. So he connected you all for such
and
a
God
time as this.
talks through
So,
people. People are
mm-hmm.
so like above everything, and they just feel like they can do everything by themselves, and it's just kind of like you've been praying to God about something, and that person could have been the one that gave you confirmation
And
about
you
it.
push them away.
You push them away. We live in a crazy world, and it's promoted to be like that. Again, cancel people, self-care. Like, no, I mean, you got to take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But my biggest take on that is you can't pour from an empty cup. You
You
can't
cannot.
give what you don't have. So self-care to me looks like just refueling, making sure that you're in a good space mentally and spiritually. And a lot of people don't care about how they are spiritually or
Mm-hmm.
mentally. It's just go, 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 go. And I suffer from that at times too, but I'm not a selfish person.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like I can be a little bit too selfless, in some aspects. But yeah, back to accountability.
This is good, AP.
You
See,
gotta pray about
it's just flowing, girl. I love it. I love it. But no, you're right. Like, you're really, really right. About the selfishness, and I like how the fact that you said you can't pour. You can't pour from an empty cup. So of course it's important for you to refuel yourself and pour, into, yourself. But the point of you refilling yourself and pouring into yourself is so that you can pour into somebody else.
right.
And not just, be pouring into me until your cup overflows, and then your neighbors over here, the well is dry.
Nothing is for us.
Yeah,
Nothing is for
because you
us. Every
haven't.
experience is to help somebody else.
Exactly, exactly. And I think once we get back to the space where we realize this life is not about us, I think things will start to be a lot better once you realize, this life is not about us. Like, God calls us, even if you don't like your neighbor, like, He calls us, to help them. He calls us to pray for our enemies, which can, at times can be very difficult. But
That's the affirmation on my mirror, girl. I look at it every
mm-hmm,
morning.
listen, and it's not an easy task to pray for somebody you don't like. But oftentimes it's
It's needed.
better. Yeah,
It's needed.
it's needed because
Carry it.
it heals
You
you
carry it.
spiritually. Yeah, it heals you spiritually. And then it takes your mind off the fact that, I don't really rock with this person. So like, I'm gonna pray for you. I'm gonna wish you well. I pray you all the blessings in the world. And I'm not going to let the fact that I don't really care for you too much
It's
interfere
right.
with
Exactly.
me and my well-being.
hmm I agree. Forgiveness is a big thing. Like, just me. And that's another thing with accountability. It's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like, we have to hold ourselves accountable to not carry all this negativity. Because
That's good.
personally, with what's going on and what has been going on in 2020, I found myself spewing a lot of negativity that I wasn't even capable of doing because I got saved. I look at things like this, and I look at things like that now, and it's kind of like the reason why we're in church and the reason why we're constantly chasing God is because we are broken, and it's
Mm-hmm.
so easy to go back to that a certain type of nature. So we also just have to hold ourselves accountable to not carry so much negativity, and it's been so easy lately. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
literally will be driving my car and I'm just like, God, please work on my spirit because I'm carrying so much right now and I'm being so negative, and like, please help me in this area because
Mm-hmm.
it's so easy to do with everything that's going on around us. So, that's a part of it, having an accountability partner. Hey, girl, listen, I've been saying some things out of my mouth or thinking some stuff that I know is not right. So, when and if you catch me, please make sure that you check me. You know what I mean? Or we would send each other text messages, just randomly. Hey, girl, how was today? How did this go? Okay, it'll get better tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, just small little gestures. Like, and being an accountability partner, it's not a job, but it's definitely, as you said, being present.
Exactly, being present and praying for people in their times of need. And even when you don't reach out to me and be like, hey, Muffy, I'm struggling with this, I'm praying for you because you're my sister. Because you are my sister. So I'm praying for you and I'm covering you in those moments when I know you may not even be able to cover yourself. So that's an important part of accountability too, being that person's covering and praying for your friend, praying for your accountability partner, not even knowing. I don't even have to know anything that you're going through, but I know because we're connected, I pray for you. And that's just it. That's just how it goes. And so I encourage people to do that too. Like, just pray for those people that you're connected to. You don't need to know what's going on. You don't need to ask them anything. Your prayer can be as simple as, God, Chevelle was on my heart today. I don't know what it is she's going through, but I'm interceding on her behalf. I pray that you cover her day, bless her day, give her favor, and just protect her. I pray a hedge of protection around her. And whatever it is that she may be going through, may you ease her spirit and give her comfort in Jesus' name. Amen. Boom.
Amen.
I done covered you, and I ain't even know nothing about what was going on. But
it's a day-to-day thing. We don't have to. People in general, and again, we live in this like just keep it pushing society. You know what I mean? If you show any level of weakness, then it's kind of like you're just this horrible person. No, we're supposed to be vulnerable. You know what I mean? Again, pray about who you're supposed to be sharing stuff with, because you ain't supposed to tell your business to everybody. That's also a big thing. But we just live in this go-go society where it's just like, oh, I'm hard, I'm this, I'm that. And that's not what it's about. But again, we're all not going to be transparent about everything that we're going through on the day to day. But you don't need to know that. That's the point of having friends and having accountability and sisters and people that you trust that can cover you. Because every day ain't going to be peaches and cream. Every day ain't going to be sunny. Some days we don't want to get out of bed. And we need people to cover us.
Baby, you said a key word, vulnerability. And I feel like I keep saying I keep generalizing stuff. Let me stop doing that. As in societies, I feel as though people have a very difficult time being vulnerable and letting people in. Like, they see it as this sign of weakness. And when I tell you being vulnerable is like the ultimate sign of strength, like, it does take a lot to be able to let those walls down and let somebody in. But it's okay to let people care about you. Like, I want people to know that, like, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to have emotions. It's okay to share those emotions, to be transparent and let somebody know, like, hey, I had a bad day. I just need to vent. I don't need your advice. I just need somebody to listen to me. Or, hey, I do need some advice. Like, can you hear me out? And, what do you think I should do? But people need to let those walls down. And I think because a lot of people have gotten into this position where they don't feel comfortable being vulnerable, because they feel as though, just like you said, you can't share your business with everybody. They feel as though if I say this to this person, my business might be out in the street. But if you have found somebody that you truly trust, and that I can bet my life on this person, and I know they would never do anything like that to harm me, you should feel safe enough to be vulnerable with them and share, your innermost moments and secrets, and, trusting that they're going to cover you, trusting that they got you, and that they're going to be there for you, outside of just, accountability, but they're just going to be present. They're going to be there. They're going to comfort you, and they're going to be what it is that you need, to make sure that you're good.
Right. And, just piggybacking over that, and then we can wrap it up. It's a character thing. You know what I mean? Like, you really have to know who, and watch people's fruit, should I say. You know what I mean? Because
watch how they move.
Watch how they move. We all talk good games. We can post. We can repost. We can get a Bible plan and, act like we got it all together. And none of us do. Let's be clear. You dropping the ball every day. I am. I can't really speak for nobody else, but I know I ain't perfect. It was only one perfect person, okay? But
dropping it every day.
It's just kind of like, it's a character thing. If you see somebody doing something that's, not really up to par with how you move, that's probably a telltale sign. If you, again, don't be out here judging people. But you need to be able to discern if this works for you or if this is not for you. And again, we've all been hurt. I feel like we've all told people stuff that we never would have thought we would hear again. But that's a part of the process. That's a part of growing, and that's a part of being able to discern what's good for you and what's not good for you. Because God don't miss the mark. Anything that He brings into your life, and He know you're a good person, He either gonna, when He does remove it, He gonna replace it with better. So, it's just about, I would say, praying and just kind of figuring out, watching people's character, and just kind of figuring out what works for you. And you can have 10 accountability partners. We got so many entrepreneurs. You can have somebody in this area doing this for you with your financing, help somebody who's making sure that you're branding the correct way, somebody who's, giving you PR advice. Like, you can have somebody that's making sure you're doing all of that. Did you post 5 times a day on Instagram? Did you do this? Did you order your labels? Whatever that looks like. But pray about it first.
Exactly, girl. You said the key word, discernment.
Making sure that you know what's going on. And if you're a good person, trust me, God will always make sure that whatever's supposed to work out for you is going to work out.
And if you pray for discernment, God is going to reveal that thing so you don't have to worry about
He's going to reveal it all right. You may not like it, but He's going to reveal
it. Exactly. He's going to reveal whatever it is that you're asking for, whether it's that yes that you need or that, nah, not right now. This ain't it. This ain't it.
Ain't it right now.
And if He tell you this ain't it, listen to Him. Don't be like, oh, I'm still going to, don't do it.
But
use that discernment and listen. All right, AP, this was good. This was so good. We're at the end. The only we have 2 more questions I just want to ask you. So, what advice would you give to people on just goal setting and accountability in general in 2021, especially after 2020, the year we just had? What advice would you give to people?
That's 2 questions?
That's another one after this one.
Oh,
we got another one.
Okay. So what advice would I give people for goal setting after 2021? I mean, after 2020?
Yeah, so what advice in regards to goal setting and accountability for this year would you give to people? Because I know after 2020, 2020 was a chaotic year for a lot of people. It was traumatizing for a lot of people. A lot of people had goals that they weren't able to accomplish, and reach.
2020 to 2020.
Cheers.
No, I would absolutely say this year, tangible goals for you. And we already talked about this, but I have to keep reiterating how important this is. Do not try to run anybody else's race. Do not try to do what anybody else is doing, because everybody is in different seasons in their lives, right? Do things that work for you. After 2020, people have buried people. People have been sick themselves. People have lost jobs. People who thought they had stability are out of work right now trying to figure out how they're going to feed their children. You know what I mean? Depression has been real all of 2020. Tangible goals. If that looks like just a self-care thing for you, where you're getting just you back together, then that's what that needs to look like, because you cannot do anything without your mental being okay and your spiritual being okay. You can be out here with abs, a washboard on your stomach, working out every single day, but if you're broken on the inside because of things that have occurred to you, you're not going to be able to do anything. So I would personally say, for me and anybody that's listening that like really is taking this in, tangible things that work for you, and just rebuilding, because 2020 has taken a lot from people, some more than others, but just tangible goals, just trying to figure out what things need to look like for you right now and in the near future, because we're grown now, right? Some of us have family, some of us have spouses, some of us have children, some of us are taking care of parents, or anybody else that we're taking care of family and just handling business. Make sure your reality and what you want right now is looking like what you want it to look like right now. Don't try to step outside and keep up with the Joneses or keep up with Maria and Stephanie and whoever else. Do what you got to do for you and make it work for you. That's all I got.
Honey, that's a whole mic drop right there. I ain't got nothing else to say. That's it. That's all. That's just a whole mic drop right there.
Listening to this, that meme that was floating around, I know me and you have talked about this before. If 2020 didn't bring the hustle out of you, then you ain't got it. No, if 2020 didn't break you, then you should be grateful.
If
Okay.
you woke up,
If you
honey, in
woke up,
2021, you should be
if
grateful.
you woke up in 2020, you should be grateful. So it's just this mentality of like, go, go, go. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm doing this. We all struggling behind doors, right? We all got insecurities. We all got things that's going on. We all trying to figure it out. So let's just be conscious of what's being projected on social media is exactly what people want it to be and what they want to be seen. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
don't try to keep up with nobody. Don't try to, oh, I need to be doing this and I need to be doing that. How you gonna run a business and your rent ain't paid? How you gonna run a business and you about to get evicted? Or you ain't got no car. They took your car because you lost your job. Focus on what's going on with yourself, focus on what's going on with your family, and focus on your next step to having stability.
Hmm.
Because as I said, people who just they in a space, they driving this, they driving that, they got this, they got that, job snatch.
Hmm.
2020 has proved that ain't nobody invincible, okay? Even if you do got it all, if you ain't got your health, how you living? Because you not.
Honey, listen, I think Diddy was the one who posted that. Diddy can post that and say that because Diddy got endless money. So
Generational wealth,
he
okay?
can say that Diddy ain't got never got to him, his kids ain't never got to work a day in their life, and they gonna be
Grandbabies
good.
and so on and so forth.
But if you ain't Diddy, make your goals and stay in your lane, okay?
I know.
Okay. All right, AP, this is the last thing. And it's very simple. So I just want to know, is there a gem? And so gems for me, they stand for gratifying, empowering messages. So is there a gem that you'd like to share with everyone before we sign off for the night? You have a gem you want to share? Just like a little nugget of advice or anything you want to drop.
I would definitely say my gem would be to take care of yourself. Um, Again, we keep talking about that self-care thing. Make sure that you are mentally and spiritually right. It's a process, it's ongoing, it will never stop. But make sure that you are taking care of yourself. You are trying to be a better person because God knows we need better people in this world right now.
Absolutely.
So definitely my gem would be to just take care of your mental and make sure that you are spiritually right. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter how much you sin. If you trust God and you love God, He's going to look out for you. He's going to make sure that you're okay. And just make sure that you're trying to have a relationship with Him. Make sure that you are mentally okay, that you're not trying to keep up with anybody, that you are staying in your lane, staying true to who you are, and just focus on being a better version of yourself. I would say that would be my job.
That was a good, honey. That was an amazing gem. Thank you, AP. Thank you so much. I love it. Before I thank you and do our outro, how are people able to follow you? How can we stay connected with Chevelle? What's your social media tag, if you don't mind sharing it?
Well, I'm actually going to take a break from social media
All right.
again. Um, I'm not really big on social media. I like to post a selfie here and there, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it gets a bit overwhelming. But when I pop out the bando, I'm gonna jump back on here again, y'all, and get y'all my social media. But right now, I'm focusing on just trying to get things together in my gym, focus on myself and get myself together to be a better person.
I respect it, AP. I respect it. Thank you so much. Thank you for just being a guest and for coming on, being so transparent, being vulnerable, sharing your story with us, sharing your journey, just talking us through goal setting and accountability. And just thank you for just being you. You know, I love you
I'm a
to
little raw.
life.
Either people or not. So I
But
say thank you.
you did. She was nervous, child, but she did amazing. I am so happy and thankful and grateful that you agreed to do this. I couldn't have thought of a different or a better person, and I'm so glad that you agreed to do it. So
That is so
thank you so
mind
much.
blowing to me. That is so mind blowing. But that says a lot because when you told me, I was just kind of like, me for
Yeah, I don't know why
real.
you
So
mind blown. Cause listen here, when did we do QE 2016? Was it 2016 or 2017?
2017.
I wasn't thinking about setting no real tangible goals, honey. Then Chevelle McConnor comes along and she got planners from Michaels and she ain't playing. And she like, AP, you gotta get a journey, you gotta do all this. I'm like,
I'm
okay.
buying them every single time I get an opportunity. Birthday, Christmas, Valentine's Day, anytime I can get some.
And now she got me buying a journal and or something every time I got a chance, knowing I don't need no more. So I have to make sure when I go to TJ Maxx, nah, you don't need no more journals. Put it down.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
But
people.
that's all because of you. It's literally all because of you. So thank you, thank you. God knew. He knew I needed you, and he knew why. I love you so much.
We can have this conversation 20 million times.
I
You
know.
know, we play a huge role in each other's lives, and I'm so grateful. And the story of how we met is just even crazier. I met you before we went into QE, and then we ended up being in the same
I
class, and then we ended
know.
up being accountability partners. So we were destined to be.
Exactly. Destined, honey, and I ain't going nowhere no time soon.
Oh,
Ever. I don't plan on going nowhere ever.
yeah.
All right, so that is it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening, Gems. If you enjoyed this episode and if you'd like to help support A Gem Forever, please share this podcast with others. You can post about it and follow me on social media and subscribe to my YouTube channel and mailing list so you don't miss out on any upcoming conversations. Also, if any gems we dropped on this episode resonated with you, drop a comment and let us know. We would love to hear from you. To catch all of the latest from me, you can follow me on Instagram at a_gem, GEM underscore forever, FOREVER. And on Facebook, on my Facebook page at A Gem Forever. Until next time, gems, with love.